Hey, what's up YouTubers? Welcome to my Tech Talk channel. For this video, I'm going to be breaking down a little bit about how your smart devices work. So, have you ever really thought about how your information is processed or your request is processed? When you ask a device to turn on your lights or appliances, such as smart bulbs or smart sockets, many people really don't take the time to appreciate or think about how much integrated technology and communication is at work. Let me try to break it down in this video. Say you went to the store and you bought a smart bulb or a smart socket, but let's start with a Genie smart bulb, for example. You just purchased this Genie smart bulb and you decide to screw it into a classic lamp or light socket. This is the one that I prefer. So, you take this light here, you screw it into the socket, and it begins blinking. What a lot of people don't really take the time to think about is the number of codes inside that light bulb. Now, in the section right here is where all of the tech takes place. Inside there, you'll see many circuits. You'll see a circuit board. You'll see several tiny computer components which make up the brain of the system. Now, this brain is able to carry out requests because it has just the certain amount of data that's needed inside there to process all of this information. Each bulb comes with a unique code. Every device that's added to the internet has an IP address. IP stands for Internet Protocol. An Internet Protocol, for example, which you'll see right there at the top of your screen, is a number, two numbers, followed by a dot, followed by three numbers, dot, three numbers, dot, three numbers, usually ending in one something something. An Internet Protocol address, it's a numerical label assigned to each device. Every device you use, whether it's a laptop, tablet, phone, light bulb, smart socket, or any device on your home network like a Chromecast, a smart TV, or Fire Stick or Roku, all has an individual, unique IP address. Now, do you really think about what happens when you ask your Google speaker or Amazon device to turn on the light? The first thing that happens is you say what's known as the wake word, and your speaker lights up. Then the speaker breaks down your request into a sequence of numbers, a sequence of zeros and ones. Those zeros and ones are stored for a moment inside that speaker. Then it sends out those requested zeros and ones when you say, for example, turn on kitchen light. What it's doing is it's processing that request. Then it finds the light, the IP address of that light, that code that's inside your light bulb's smart board, the computer board, the circuit board inside it. It finds the code or the IP address, pings it, sends it back to your Amazon speaker. Then the code of that device, which is the device that you requested to turn on. Then those sets of zeros and ones from both devices are then sent out as a request, a data request, to your router wirelessly in an electromagnetic frequency, usually on an 802.11 B, G, or N router. Now, some people use 2.4 gigahertz, some use 5 gigahertz. A 2.4 gigahertz has more latency, so it's usually you can get a 2.4 gigahertz in closer range, or actually further range, and a 5 gigahertz does not go as far of range as a 2.4 gigahertz, so it's best if you're close by to use a 2.4 gigahertz. Or if you're further away. That's what I meant. So, let's break down what happens. After that request is put into zeros and ones, it goes from the Amazon or Google speaker. It sends those requests, those zeros and ones, to your router in an electromagnetic impulse. Then the router goes through a series of sequences. The firewall built into the router tells whether it's okay or not for that request to be sent through. Then your request is okayed. Those numbers go through your router. This is an older router, but for example, you'll see right there the internet input. That's where the Ethernet cable or the fiber optics cable going to your house is plugged in. This is a new device added to the network of things or the Internet of Things. Your device is now ready for M2M interaction or machine-to-machine interaction. Then you're now extended to the World Wide Web. Once that request is sent in zeros and ones, those packets of data get sent to the router. The router breaks it down and sends it out of that fiber optics cable exactly where I've circled on your screen. Then that request is taken out of your router through a cable like this, usually onto the smart box on your house. It goes out as a system of pulses of light. Those pulses of light usually go out of your home's router, through the wires, to the box outside of your house, and then send out as impulses of light through the network line attached to your house. Then they switch and go to all of those street wires that you see on electrical poles throughout your town or city. Once your request is then processed and sent out in those beams of light, it transfers through multiple wires, just like you see right there, in those thousands of tiny little fiber optics cables. Inside one of these wires are literally 1,000 fiber optics cables that are as thin as a human hair. They then go to your ISP. That request stops at your internet service provider. Then their local servers send out that request to the main data servers where the information or request that you requested is stored, along with your Genie account, your devices under your account, and all of your information, so it's okayed. The request is then sent back from wherever it's at, New York, California, England, Australia, wherever the servers are located. It then okays it, sends the request back that you requested for the light to be turned on. The request is then sent out to things like this, where it's got to be routed. Your account information, along with the device that you requested to be turned on, is likely all stored in places like this, on various servers, in server rooms and server buildings just like this. Then, once the information is processed and your request is accepted, it's sent back, and that request is sent all the way back, and the process reverses. And it goes back through the cables as an impulse of light, okaying the light to be turned on. But that request has to be sent back to your internet service provider, back through those wires, all the way through the cable going to your house, through that box, back to the router. Then the router sends the request as an impulse of light to the IP address given. Think of it like an address of your house. If you want mail sent out, you have to have a to and from mailing address. So it has to know where to send the request and where the request is being received once the information is processed. So it knows exactly which place to send the request back to carry out that command. So it knows your kitchen light bulb's IP address is what's being requested. So then it goes back through your router, the router okays it, sends it to the IP address that you requested, which is the kitchen light, and then voila! Your kitchen light is then turned on with ease as if there never was a problem at all. That's why sometimes it can take a while, but don't forget, your device then says, okay, turning on the light. And all of that took place within just that short period of milliseconds. That's why if there's an issue with servers, or the servers are down, or the account's having issues, it can be a problem. And in today's interconnected modern world, that can be an issue, and that can also be a hindrance, not only to businesses and homes, but daily life in general. So many times, next time you say, turn on the lights or turn off the lights, take a time to think about how much data is being processed and how much work really goes into that request that we take for granted. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped out. I hope it brought a little bit more light to the subject, pun intended here, of the Internet of Things and their interaction with each other. I'll try to get into more details in the future. This is kind of one of my first videos. I was a little bit new at this, trying to explain it, so forgive me. All right. I hope you found this video informative. Leave a like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments in the comment section below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And as always, keep on thinking, observing, and keep the curiosity flowing. This has been Tech Talk, signing off. Show support at the links below.